We'll talk about that.
It's quite poor. Hello and welcome, my name is Ian, this channel is all about music and art, and this is a series of videos about how to digitise a 40-year-old vinyl record. In fact, this vinyl record. I played on this record 40 years ago, and it's going to be released on my record label later this year, and we want to get the best quality version within reason, and there is zero budget for this project. We don't have access to the original masters, they've long gone. So this is part 3. And in part 1 and 2 we speed checked my Thorns turntable, we digitised the album using an external sound card, and we found that the album gets quieter as the album goes on, but we're going to fix that in the mastering stage. I've been in contact with Gary Barrett, the lead singer and songwriter for the band Nerve Centre, and Gary always felt that the album was too fast. Now what he said was we either played it really fast, or the album was speeded up at some point in the process, or probably the mastering process of the original vinyl. I'm going to compare the digitised vinyl recording with my original desktop cassette, which I was provided with at the end of the recording session. Now, of course, this won't be a definitive result because the cassette has seen better days, and it's been sat in my garage in a cardboard box for the last 40 years. I'm surprised it even plays. It does play.
You may hurt me.
And while my cassette deck is good, it's not top of the range. It doesn't have speed control, so I can't check that, and I've got no way of calibrating it. The first job was to digitize the cassette tape, and I've used the headphone output on the cassette deck because we don't expect the greatest quality. We're not going to be using these in the final recordings. It's just to test the tempo of the music that was recorded on it. And then I put the files into Logic Pro X. I also downloaded off YouTube a copy of the track Lonely Man. That's the first track on the album. It's the fastest track on the album, to see if there's any difference between the cassette version, my digitised version, and the version of that recording. But I thought it was worth a comparison. Now, there are a couple of ways to speed check a recording in Logic. The first is to press Option Command T together on a Mac, and I'm sure there'll be an equivalent way on Windows, and then we get a pop-up showing us the tempo. Now, when I did this, I got the tempo of 80 beats per minute for the cassette. So I triple checked it, and each time I got the same tempo. Now, this clearly wasn't right. So I went to my second option, which was to try the adapted tempo features of Logic Pro X. Now, when I did that, we've got a tempo of around about 170 beats a minute. It fluctuates between at one point 179, 160, 165, 164. It's and we'd expect those sort of fluctuations. Now, this was just taken from the vinyl test, my vinyl test. So I'm still thinking that's now thinking that's a little bit too fast. So the third way we can get to use to test this is to use an online site called Get Song BMP to analyse the beats per minute. So I first of all tried this with a WAV file, but it came back with a file type not allowed, so I had to convert all of the files to MP3s. The results for the cassette were 117 beats per minute on both versions. And what you do is, once you've converted the file to an MP3, you drop your file onto the website. It takes a few minutes to process, and then it tells you what the tempo of the piece is. When I did this, the cassette recording came back at 117 BPM, and both versions of the vinyl, my recording of the vinyl and the vinyl version that I took off YouTube, were both at 112 beats per minute. That sounded about right to me, and Get Song BMP allows you to download the results and analyse it, and it even makes a copy of a file with a metronome over the top of it. Now, I wasn't expecting the cassette to be faster than the vinyl, but that could be age related. I mean, this cassette is, as you can see, the quality of the cassette isn't brilliant. Could be speed related, could be the cassette deck, my cassette deck, could be the cassette deck that it was originally recorded on. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send the recording off to Gary for his thoughts, and then in the next video we'll start cleaning up the audio and remove the turntable rumble and the vinyl surface noise and the pops and crackles. So I hope you found that useful. So thanks so much for watching. If you've got any questions, pop them in the link down below, and I'll see you next time. Cheers now. Bye bye.